Mastering ISO 14040. ISO 14040 holds the secret to unlocking operational excellence. Which international standard, specifically ISO 14040, outlines the principles and framework for life cycle assessment, and how does its implementation support an organization's environmental management efforts towards achieving operational excellence? ISO 14040, Environmental Management, Life Cycle Assessment, Principles and Framework, provides the guidelines for conducting life cycle assessments, LCAs, a crucial tool for organizations seeking to improve their environmental management and achieve operational excellence. The standard outlines the principles and framework for LCA, which is a holistic approach to evaluating the environmental impacts of products, services, and systems throughout their entire life cycle, from raw material extraction and processing to manufacturing, distribution, use, end-of-life treatment, and waste management. By implementing ISO 14040, organizations can gain a comprehensive understanding of their environmental footprint and identify opportunities for improvement. The framework for LCA consists of 4 phases: goal and scope definition, inventory analysis, impact assessment, and interpretation. During goal and scope definition, the organization defines the objectives of the study, the product or service to be assessed, and the boundaries of the study. In the inventory analysis phase, the organization quantifies the inputs and outputs of the system being studied, including energy and water consumption, raw material extraction, and waste generation. The impact assessment phase involves evaluating the potential environmental impacts associated with the inputs and outputs, such as climate change, resource depletion, and human toxicity. Finally, in the interpretation phase, the organization interprets the results of the study and draws conclusions about the environmental performance of the product or service. The implementation of ISO 14040 supports an organization's environmental management efforts in several ways. Firstly, it helps organizations to identify areas for improvement and prioritize their environmental efforts. By understanding the environmental hotspots in their operations, organizations can focus their resources on the most impactful activities and implement measures to reduce their environmental footprint. Secondly, ISO 14040 enables organizations to make informed decisions about product design, material selection, and supply chain management. By considering the environmental impacts of different materials, processes, and suppliers, organizations can make choices that minimize their environmental footprint and improve their overall sustainability. Thirdly, the implementation of ISO 14040 supports organizations in their efforts to reduce waste and pollution. By identifying opportunities to reduce waste and emissions, organizations can implement measures to minimize their environmental impacts and improve their resource efficiency. Fourthly, ISO 14040 helps organizations to improve their environmental reporting and communication. By conducting LCAs and reporting on their environmental performance, organizations can demonstrate their commitment to transparency and accountability, and provide stakeholders with a comprehensive understanding of their environmental impacts. Finally, the implementation of ISO 14040 supports organizations in their efforts to achieve operational excellence. By integrating LCA into their environmental management systems, organizations can identify opportunities to reduce costs, improve efficiency, and enhance their reputation. Operational excellence is often characterized by a focus on continuous improvement, and the implementation of ISO 14040 provides a framework for organizations to drive environmental improvements and achieve their sustainability goals. In conclusion, the implementation of ISO 14040 provides a comprehensive framework for organizations to evaluate their environmental performance and identify opportunities for improvement. By conducting LCAs and integrating the results into their environmental management systems, organizations can support their environmental management efforts, reduce their environmental footprint, and achieve operational excellence. As I sat with the team at XYZ Corporation, Discussing their environmental management efforts, I couldn't help but think of the importance of understanding the human experience in the pursuit of operational excellence. It's easy to get caught up in the numbers and procedures, but without considering the subjective nature of human perception, we risk overlooking the very essence of what drives us towards excellence. The team was eager to implement the principles of ISO 14040, the international standard for life cycle assessment. But I knew that true operational excellence went beyond mere compliance. It required a deep understanding of the intricate web of human experiences, values, and motivations that shape our actions. Let me take you back to a particular instance when I was working with a group of engineers at XYZ. They were struggling to optimize their production process, and I noticed that their focus was solely on reducing energy consumption and waste. While these were crucial aspects, I sensed that they were missing the bigger picture. I asked them to take a step back and imagine themselves in the shoes of the end users of their product. How did the product make them feel? What values did it represent? What kind of impact did it have on their daily lives? By doing so, the engineers began to see their product not just as a mere commodity, but as a means to improve people's lives. This subtle shift in perspective opened up new avenues for innovation and improvement. They started to explore ways to reduce waste, not just because it was environmentally friendly, but because it aligned with the values of their customers. They began to see that their product was not just a means to an end, but an end in itself, a means to make a positive impact on the world. As we delved deeper into the implementation of ISO 14040, I emphasized the importance of considering the ethical dimensions of their operations. It wasn't just about meeting the standards, it was about doing what was right. I encouraged the team to think about the long-term consequences of their actions, to imagine the kind of world they wanted to leave behind for future generations. This led to a fascinating discussion on the concept of intergenerational justice. How could they ensure that their actions today would not compromise the ability of future generations to meet their own needs? By embracing this ethical framework, the team began to make decisions that not only benefited the environment, but also contributed to the greater good. Throughout this process, I was struck by the intelligence and creativity of the team. They were not just following procedures, they were thinking critically, solving problems, and finding innovative solutions. They were, in essence, demonstrating a high level of general intelligence, the ability to adapt, learn, and apply knowledge in complex, dynamic situations. As we worked together, I noticed that the team's approach to environmental management began to shift. They moved from a compliance-driven mindset to a values-driven one. They started to see that operational excellence was not just about reducing waste or energy consumption, but about creating a better world, a world that was more just, equitable, and sustainable. In the end, the implementation of ISO 14040 was not just about meeting a standard, it was about embracing a philosophy that recognized the intricate web of human experiences, values, and motivations that drive us towards operational excellence. It was about creating a culture that valued the subjective experience, ethical judgment, and general intelligence, a culture that would inspire and motivate individuals to strive for greatness. As I looked around the room, I saw a team that was no longer just going through the motions. They were driven by a sense of purpose, a sense of responsibility, and a sense of pride in their work. They had embarked on a journey towards operational excellence, and I had no doubt that they would achieve it.